of like copying to other campuses and so on. Is that cool? Great. So marketing plan, this came up a number of times yesterday. And I guess there are kind of three kind of key things that we hope hopefully a very simple structure can help guide you through kind of looking at your campus, your city. In particular, kind of understanding the opportunities. So we spoke about kind of you understanding your local reality, like understanding kind of what the opportunities are on campus, who the best partners are to work with, who the best societies are to work with, what online forums your university might use, and kind of having a look at kind of what opportunities exist. Ultimately, kind of breaking things down, and it's great to have kind of a bigger kind of target and overall objective for your campaign, and then kind of break it down and say, okay, what are the actual action steps that I want to do kind of each week? And you think kind of the average university term is like 10 weeks. So it's almost like, okay, if I come up with like 3-4 things I'm going to do each week over 10 weeks, like you can really break it down and like have that structured plan to follow. You're like a lot more likely to then achieve and get things done. And if you can understand what your goal is, and then you break it down and say, how can I achieve that goal? Just break it into like 3-4 things like each week, then you can come up with like a really structured plan. And then kind of competitor activity, something that's like really useful for you guys and us to understand kind of what else is happening on campus, especially kind of freshers, which we'll touch on in a bit. But in terms of like market research as one of the kind of areas that you might want to look into for your portfolio and for the campaign overall. There's obviously market research about your campus, but then also kind of market research in terms of like what other people are doing. There's lots of people on campus trying to market students. It's a crowded space, especially at freshers. And there might be ideas that you can get, ideas that we can get, and it's like another thing to kind of be thinking about. So before I come on to that, just kind of wanted to walk you through this plan, which we're going to ask you all to kind of fill out and submit kind of over the next couple of weeks and things. You all sent me your fresher start dates, and like most of last week of September and first week of October. Was there anyone that was like drastically out of that time frame? No. Cool. So as I kind of come on to like dates and time frames and kind of freshers, there's some important things to be doing around freshers, but it's not necessarily like the place that you're going to get the most kind of amazing activities done and get the most people signed up. So kind of working on your marketing plan and kind of looking at what opportunities exist on campus is like a really good thing to be kind of doing around for the next couple of weeks. So you've got your marketing plan. So kind of first page is kind of analysis, so an overview, kind of what is the city like, how many students are there, are other universities in the city, what's the environment like, are there lots of pools. So again, it's like looking at kind of what your kind of local situation is. How many of you know how many students are at your university?
It's 2,000.
A few, maybe, not really sure. It's quite like a useful number just to be aware of. And in terms of then like setting your own goals and targets and thinking, okay, what do you want to achieve over the kind of course of the next academic year? Understanding kind of how many students are doing, what is my market, how big is my market? There are 2.2 million students in the UK. How many of them are in Birmingham? I think there's about 60,000 students in Birmingham across all the universities. Roughly, I know Reading there's only like 15,000 students. If you don't include the Thames Valley, which doesn't really. So it's like understanding that perhaps if we had a campus right in Reading there, perhaps then they'd have probably less students to talk to than someone potentially in Birmingham, for example. So kind of understanding that. Include kind of a map of the campus. It's good to kind of get that kind of overview. Like, it's good for us to kind of see kind of where you're planning to kind of go and kind of highlight on that map. Kind of these are the key areas that I think I should be kind of focusing on. This is the big kind of student hub. Like no one's okay, so I'm going to leave that bit blank. You kind of break down, like actually kind of think about kind of where you want to go and kind of what you want to do. Kind of any questions just on that analysis? Hopefully it's been fairly straightforward. Just some good and simple questions and things to think about.
You know how like we're in Glasgow, we're in Strathclyde, so there's like 3 other unis.
Yep.
We do that as well.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. There we've got it's quite a cool guy. Unfortunately, he's an international student from the States actually, but he's going to be at Edinburgh, which I know is like not too close to you guys.
Yeah.
We've got someone else in Scotland as well. But yeah, no, absolutely. Like you're in that city, like you can make the most of it. Cool. Any other questions on that?
If you're taking time to work on other universities, then do you claim on those? Like, I mean, when you're looking for numbers, how you said you were going to give us feedback.
Sure.
Like,
so in terms of like
access other universities.
in terms of like the portal that we're building for you guys to log into and see, At the moment, I've asked them to build it so that it does it by institution. I can, like, potentially we can also get them to show by city. Do you think that, like, so most of you are kind of focused on a university. Are there many of you that think it'd be much better to do it by city? Like London and Glasgow potentially.
I've got Coventry Uni, like
Coventry, yeah. Because potentially what we could do is we could, like, for your login, we could put both universities there. Like, would that be, like, London it might get a bit complicated.
Because obviously there's 3 in Birmingham as well, like all of the ECU like halls are right next to us, and that, so you could easily get people in there.
Okay, so perhaps put like the other universities
So like
in your city.
Like I could start with King's, but then it would be kind of interesting. Like if I want to up the numbers, we could maybe try the other universities because no one else is in the London University.
Okay, well I imagine like because they've already almost finished building it, so it'll probably launch. You'll have access to it with like your university, and I definitely think that should be like a priority for you guys to focus on it first, and then kind of as the years are like perhaps from the second term or something, we can add the other universities like in your city. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, anything else? Great. So the next page is hopefully kind of simple structure to do like a SWOT analysis. How many of you have come across a SWOT analysis before? Lots of hands. Very good. That's good to know. So hopefully I don't need to explain this in too much depth. It's a really simple business planning tool. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses, looking at internally, so things kind of about your campus, about your university or your city, and opportunities and threats, kind of slightly external things, so kind of external competition or another company, things like that. So they kind of make sense. Yeah. Can someone give me an opportunity of a strength? Other than the one that's written down.
And like the fact that students move a lot, like of the time, so like there's opportunity when they're going like from lectures to library to kind of catch them.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah. Like the example here is like large halls of residence. So if a university like had no halls of residence, then you can't really take advantage of that. But if you've got lots of like really big halls and you've got lots of students in one place, so that's like a good opportunity. It's a good strength for you to take advantage of. A weakness.
There's only one, even if say there's one person who goes to university, and how many say when people go to university, it's one person trying to get as much attention as possible. So the fact that a lot of students could be a weakness in a way because there's only one of you, or even 2.
So having like a huge population.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't worry about there just being one of you.
No, I'm just saying in terms
of there being like a huge population.
One of the weaknesses of my uni is that the SU isn't very good. It's not very central, so it's all kind of spread.
That's a good weakness. That's spot on.
There's more places to go though, so I suppose I'll just go to everywhere.
That's cool. Okay, then it's got opportunities. Example, like lots of societies. There's lots of possibilities, like really strong students' union, lots of societies and things like that. And then threats. Kind of the obvious example is kind of another local service. I don't think there's anyone actually out there that does exactly what studentbeans.com does in the way that we do it with the reach that we have. And if you Google student discounts, there are some other sites that have very little traffic. There's not really anyone else that's kind of a significant competitor. It'd be really interesting if you guys know of local services. I know there's the closest probably you guys know the student checkbook.
Yeah, we get that. Also.
Yeah. So it's better when you go to show like not everyone does. It's something that we're aware of, but it's a physical book as opposed to a site. And then there's SnapFacts or something in Scotland that like I never heard of until like a few months ago, but apparently it's like exists in Scotland.
It's pretty popular actually.
Yeah. Which is why I think that in particular is why Scotland's never been like a huge focus before. But I was like really keen this year to have like you're going to prove me right. But Great. Okay, so again, it's like a really useful kind of breakdown kind of your kind of local reality, and to kind of start thinking about kind of what opportunities there are, what threats or things you might want to mitigate. And once you've kind of broken this down, like it's important not just to do the exercise and say, okay, great, I've ticked that box, I can send it into William. Like the point is to actually then like think about it and say, okay, these are the opportunities that are on my campus. Okay, great, what are you going to do about that? Like how are we going to take advantage of those? Okay, there's a local service. So when I'm out talking to people or giving out flyers or doing a lecture shout, how am I going to like differentiate what we're doing, our service from theirs? And also you know what those local competitors are, or what the local reality is, so can you tailor those messages? And then the next page kind of sums up. We try to keep this really short and simple. Like we're not, we don't want you guys like writing long essays or putting like huge plans or business plans together. Like we want you guys out there, like creating the buzz, talking to people, like making stuff happen. I mean, that said, it's really important to kind of take a step back at the beginning and like, put some thoughts together, put a plan together. Like that's really, really important. So, please go through this. But as I say, like we've kept it short and simple, like deliberately. So once you've kind of done the kind of analysis, the SWOT analysis, can you go through like some objectives? So kind of outline your own objectives for the year. We'll kind of touch on that again, kind of a bit later today. I think it's really important to kind of have something kind of quantifiable, written down that you want to get out of your campaign, and then goals. You actually kind of quantify that, so put it in numbers. We've put a number out there of kind of 5,000. I know some people kind of gasp at that number. In previous years, campus managers have achieved more than that. So it's not some like crazy figure. We're not expecting kind of every single one of you in this room to sign up, like millions and millions of people. But it's what simple things can you do that are going to get kind of those, yeah.
I think this is a bit of an obvious question, but there's no way of telling who we've got signed up and who signed up from other kind of word of mouth and stuff, is there? Do you know what I mean? There's just one figure.
Yeah. So what we're looking to do is, so in this portal where you'll be able to log in and see numbers, we're measuring kind of how many people sign up on the site every day anyway. Like that's obviously a really important number for us as a business to kind of be aware of and measure and track. And every piece of information that people give when they register, like we track too, so we can track how many people are signing up per city, university, all that stuff as well. Now in terms of then like presenting you with like a useful number, at the moment the way it's going to be built, like I'll go through the structure that we've planned, and then if you've got kind of recommendations or you think something would be better, then like, give us that feedback. So at the moment, you'll be able to see how many people are signing up kind of each day in total, kind of in your city, and then kind of we obviously know from kind of the last few years, like historically, like how many people will be signing up in that city that time of year anyway. So we're going to give you like a I suppose it's not a figure that we've just made up, but it's like a clever formula that's calculating like a daily average for your city for that time of year that would be expected, based on just history, just what would happen. So you'll be able to see what's actually happening with kind of this figure that we've kind of calculated, and then when you're